Georgia gets help in the transfer portal once again at wide receiver. This is Colbie Young coming from Miami. And the last transfer that Georgia got from Miami was a big receiver, Lawrence Cager. Brent, just in terms of size, this guy may be a little bit bigger, like longer. It's close.
Yeah, I think he's probably a little bit taller and a little bit more length. Maybe not quite as thick as Cager was. And obviously Cager's now playing tight end in the NFL. But in terms of their game, like it's almost carbon copy. I mean, amazingly, actually. There's a couple highlights in here, though, like where it's like, okay, he's got a little bit of different wiggle to him that you maybe didn't think he had. But, yeah, outside of that, it's go be big and tall and go get win contested catch type situations.
First 3 plays here from 2022, and you know this is ACC because it's on Bally's.
Very true.
Formation.
Yep, and this is one where, like, hands, right? Okay, go make a play with one hand in a situation. And what's interesting, he was 88, I think, his first year, and then number 4 this past year. But this is a great catch with your other hand basically being grabbed by the defender.
And you were telling me numbers-wise, like, stats are great on this guy.
Like, he actually has legit production. 950 yards, 10 touchdowns in 2 years. He's got 5 drops in 2 years, which on a percentage basis puts him right around like 6%, which is on par with, about where Georgia is.
This is against Duke. So a Mike Elko coach team.
So another go route win. Create some level of separation because of your size, and then go make great catches and actually slither away and be big. Get rid of the cornerback.
He's not going to be making too many moves, I think, in the open field like that, but he's big enough that people can kind of slide off of him.
Well, we saw more of it this past season than that first year in Miami, and there's like some numbers where it's like, really, I was kind of shocked to see some of his missed tackle numbers that he's forced. Especially last year. But, yeah, for the most part, this is go be a big receiving threat on the outside.
And he was there against Virginia Tech again. This time in the slot down the seam.
And so his first year there, they used him a little more so in the slot than this past season. This past season, 96% out wide, outside guy. First year, put him in the slot a little more, and that's one you want to see. Red zone target. Put the ball where nobody else can get it, and he can go get it, and great catch.
He's bigger than who I'm about to mention, but this, from a Georgia perspective, kind of reminded me of the classic Chris Durham route at Georgia, which is go lay across the middle and see what happens. We're gonna let you be a long receiver.
Like
yes,
Durham had length,
yeah,
and hung around the league for a while, if I'm not mistaken.
I like Chris Durham.
I'm pretty sure he played in the league for a good handful of years.
Lions, I think.
Panthers.
Sure.
I want to say.
Top of the formation here.
I can't remember.
We got a Miami battle here.
Yeah, and granted, yes, this is against Miami, Ohio, but this is the part where, and there's another one that he had too, where it's like, okay, there's some wiggle and when you get those strides rolling, okay, some top end speed with the strides, but if they're throwing the guy some slip screens, tunnels type screen stuff, that they think he can go make people miss.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that when an offensive coordinator, because we see another play like this later, and I watched this and I was like, oh, okay. It is Miami, Ohio, but still.
But you can envision Carson Beck just throwing a dart over there with that little shortstop kind of throw.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is just kind of lobbed over there and he catches it. Like I think he'd get faster over there with Carson Beck if he can handle that. Sometimes you don't want that, but I see Carson Beck checking to this and being like, okay, you're going to play off the line against my big guy? Cool. I'll go get 5 yards out of this. Turns into more. Fantastic.
Yep.
Against Texas A&M, SEC
size. And this is where this isn't the best route on planet Earth, but the ball was put in the spot and his size just basically boxed out 28. Now this was like an all-time horrible defensive performance from A&M in this game. But and it's interesting, as we've done a lot of these looking at transfers, you see all-time bad defensive performances, but still the size to be able to box out the DB. You can put the ball on one side of him, knowing that the DB is not going to get through him. Boom, and then stay strong, make a guy miss, and go get some yak.
I mean, this almost felt like high school strategy of like, hey, come back to it. You're big. It'll be there.
Right.
Sometimes that still works in college football too.
Yes.
Heck, it works in the NFL.
Does.
If you're
Just
bigger and faster.
It's less in the league, but yes, very much so. Still a thing.
Size and speed.
Yep.
Georgia Tech, not kneeling. It's fourth quarter. I'm making a joke.
That's still like, how much does Crystal Ball get paid? But anyway, this is one where I love the effort. Like, obviously, it's just they get a one-on-one opportunity with him at the post route. They throw it to open space, but the effort after the catch to get into the end zone is like, hey, he wanted the score.
Yeah,
reach, go for it. Great effort. You want to see those type of plays when you watch guys and what they're going to bring to your roster.
He had a good quarterback in Tyler Van Dyke. I mean, he was up and down, but I don't think you're going to see him struggle with a quarterback with a good arm. Sometimes you see receivers kind of accurate. Have to adapt to that, especially when transferring. Of like, I'm used to this ball coming from a guy in a certain way. Tyler Van Dyke's a good quarterback.
Still colossally stupid what they did at the end of that game.
You're still thinking about it.
I mean,
they may be too.
They get paid so much money and they like royally screwed up. This is the one where, so we saw the slip screen against Miami, Ohio. Okay, now let's see it against some legit competition. And again, he's got some wiggle, like whoop, whoop, little move, little wiggle there. And what's amazing, now a couple of them were on this play here, but he forced 10 missed tackles in the receiving game. By the way, that would have been second on Georgia to Bowers this past season. So it wasn't like Georgia was, getting the ball to guys and getting all kinds of missed tackles forced after the catch. A lot of their after the catch stuff was created from design and back hitting guys in sort of perfect stride. This is the receiver himself. Like, this is Young himself creating the yardage.
He did there against North Carolina. A couple against Clemson. We'll wrap it.
And this is what you are and what you should be. Jump balls.
This is the Cager. This is the J.J. Holloman, if you want to go back to that.
Yeah.
This is be big in the red zone. Yeah.
Like, contested catch guy. And here's the key. The numbers back it up. Looking at, and by the way, this is something that Georgia struggled with mightily this past year, was contested catch situation. Because you wanted at least 50-50. Well, Georgia, I think, was at 40% as a team. Young, 12 out of 18, 2/3. He took, and in 2 years, 19 out of 30. So, like, this guy wins in contested catch situations, and we get to see two of them here. And by the way, this one's third down.
Before I play this, and I know that the defensive back is crouching, but just look at the size difference at the bottom of the screen here.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be something a quarterback just loves to see.
Yeah, when in doubt, like, hey, given the way the coverage is, okay, I'm just going to take my one-on-one opportunity and put it up there. Especially, I think Miami's, I don't know who they're playing at quarterback. It's not, I don't think it's Van Dyke at that point. Yeah, 17, whoever that is. Yeah, but go win. And that's what he does.
You can underthrow to him. You can do the back shoulders. He can adjust to it. He can box you out. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that you talk about with – you can see in his game that all the stuff you hear about of, like, the bigger receivers that you can tell have played a little basketball before.
And, you thought, okay, in terms of just looking at guys who would win contested catch situations for Georgia outside of Bowers this past year, you thought, oh, okay, rah-rah. Well, he was 2 out of 5, I think it was. Let's see, or 4 out of 10. So he was 40% in contested catch situations. As a team, Georgia was only 20 out of 52 contested catch situations. Like, it's something you got to, like, there are elements of the offense. And when you look at sort of previous transfers with Humphreys being the deep ball guy, there's elements to your offense that you got to at least be able to have. You saw Rah-Rah win some of those situations. Ole Miss is one that I think of. But being able to do it consistently like Colbie Young does, it's a skill.
we didn't show any perimeter blocking or that element of his game. We know that would be asked of him at Georgia. And we know that Georgia's best perimeter blocker, Marcus Rosemary-Jacksaint, is gone from the program because he's been there for a long time. So he's going to be off in the NFL. That's a spot I think Colbie Young can make a difference for Georgia.
And he was solid in terms of his time at Miami. Way better in year 2 than in year 1. And that's, that helped him stay on the field in year 2. Outside of the abilities as a receiver. But yeah, it's something that obviously, you got to do at Georgia. And though I also think, just as a big picture thought, I think that's something that Georgia has to do this offseason is figure out how to create running game efficiency and success without having a Darnell or Rosemary-Jacksaint. Like, those two guys are now gone in consecutive years. You don't necessarily have that type. How do you still create running game efficiency and big plays in the running game?
Like, or even a Bowers.
Yeah, Bowers too.
Yeah.
Like, because Delp is a average to above average blocker. Like, and, Lucky, you get year 2 of him and others that are on campus now too. But again, you don't have the dominating forces that Rosemary-Jacksaint, and he wasn't necessarily dominating, but he was really, really good for a wide receiver. And then Darnell. Like, that's consecutive years where an element of your offense has taken a step back. Now, how do you compensate for that from a design and a coaching perspective?
Just looking at the receiver room, when we did our Film Don't Lie on London Humphreys coming in, we said he's a bit of an insurance of if Aaron Smith is not there or if he's not playing well. This is different with Colbie Young. He fills a spot that I don't think Georgia has right now.
No, I agree. You don't have that length that can go truly win those contested catches. Like Rara 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, Rara and Dylan Bell kind of fit more the same mold, just in terms of maybe not skill set in particular, but just body and what they can do there.
And they were given those opportunities this past year.
Yeah. What that tells me is that if Colbie Young comes in with the experience that he has, the skill set that he has, he will be a rotational wide receiver. If he comes in and becomes a really good blocker, I'm talking like Rosemary-Jacksaint level, he might play more downs than any receiver at Georgia this year. Like,
outside of Lovett,
as
long as he's there, yes, I agree.
Yeah, like if you get your best 3 receivers in the field, I think that'd be 2 of the 3 and probably Dylan Bell the other one.
Yeah,
like just because you get a variety of what the defense has to cover there with these guys. Now, if he doesn't do that stuff, then he'll rotate on and off, and we've seen that a lot. Just of guys that kind of do one thing. He has to do multiple things for Georgia, and we won't know that until he gets there. And he learns his teammates, and he learns the scheme, and it does what Brian McClendon wants him to do. Really hard to predict that with transfers, and we'll find out as we go because we've seen a lot of your players.
He does have a skill set. He has a definitive skill set. You can win those situations.
And he has proven productivity. Georgia hasn't played Miami, so this makes him stand out a little bit among other transfers that Georgia has
very
had.
True. Very true.
Maybe they were watching the Georgia Tech tape and they said, hey, got to go get that one. I don't know.
I mean, there's at least that, yes.
I'll go with that. You think Buster Faulkner tried to get him a year early?
Maybe. Who knows?
This has been filmed live from UGAsports.com talking about Colbie Young. Subscribe to this channel if you like what we do with the most popular Georgia Bulldog YouTube channel out there. If you watch us on Facebook, man, we're growing there as well. I don't know other places that we stream. I know some places on X. Roddy's probably going to pull some of this for TikTok. I'll leave my other joke that I had about all the outlets that we have.
Yes.
Later.
Yes.
It's on my X account right now.
Yes. It's a good one. It was funny. I laughed.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so this has been Colbie Young, former Miami receiver, now Georgia receiver. Thank y'all for watching.